mostly lightly armed with assault rifles and rocket-propelled grenades. They're fighting in some of the most appalling weather conditions, but a big handicap is their lack of experienced fighters.
A lot of wounded and dead by the lack of experience, but that's the price that we have to pay, because we were occupied, didn't have a chance to build the army properly.
That price is being paid every day. Here, a young fighter is brought down from the front line by horse after being wounded in the leg. It was a sniper, he says. We had one dead. There are many Serbs up there. So many factors are beyond the control of these men. NATO is fighting the war from the air, but the ground war has begun. It's being waged by the KLA, who succeeded in fighting their way back into Kosovo. It's a slow process, inch by inch, hill by hill, but slowly but surely they're going back to the territory they believe they can liberate in the coming weeks. That might seem like wishful thinking, but there is evidence of KLA successes. They took this former Serb barracks at Koshare, punching through from the Albanian mountains and forcing the Yugoslav army soldiers to flee, leaving behind clothes, personal effects and mortars, a tremendous morale boost to the fledgling KLA soldiers. But this is the terrain NATO would have to contend with if the decision is made to send in ground forces. Mountains, steep hills and woodland where the Serbs can hide out easily, undetectable from the air, and sweeping open meadows down into Kosovo, which are said to be heavily mined and with little cover, a problem that NATO has been pondering over since last summer.
It's not very good.
NATO jets are flying over KLA-held territory daily, but they are not hitting the Serb positions close to the border areas which the KLA need in order to push deeper into Kosovo. From our vantage point, we could clearly see the Jakovata-Unic road winding in the distance, deserted and no sign of life in the surrounding villages. It's a powerful lure to many of the fighters who still have family inside. As we climbed the hills and mountains together, the fighters' mood would switch from happiness at seeing their land again to one of sadness at not being able to fully return. A sense of frustration is growing at their inability to help the trapped refugees. What's the mood amongst the soldiers now?
I say the freedom is very expensive. And this is a moment to say thanks for all opinion on board, especially for England and the United States of America. We appreciate that. But first what we need is a gun. It's pity to come American people and young people to die for Kosovo. You just have to help us to send the arm, nothing else.
Get them down! 2, 3. There is outside help on the ground, though, in the form of a handful of Western volunteers like John Harrison from Hereford, who is helping to train these young men, a former RAF regiment soldier and a veteran of the Croatian War against the Serbs. He is only too aware of the differences between the KLA and the Serbs.
It's a very, very difficult thing.